The sky opens like a vast canvas brushed in ochre and indigo, where the air is thick with the scent of dust and something ancient, a place not merely seen but felt, in the thrum of hooves on endless plains, in the hush of mountain wind, in the heartbeat of the equator itself. There is a rhythm here that speaks before words. Drum beats echoing through valleys, the call of birds slicing through morning fog, the rustle of market cloth in a midday breeze. You don't arrive in Tanzania. You remember it like something from a dream that turns out to be real. The land is both storyteller and story. Volcanoes sleeping under stars. Lions draped across sun-split rocks. Dhow sails tracing calligraphy on the Indian Ocean. And everywhere, a quiet knowing, a sense that time is measured not in minutes, but in migrations, not in days, but in rains. Welcome to Tanzania, a country shaped by the elements, where fire-forged mountains and water-carved craters, where islands whisper in Swahili and savannas roar with life, where every turn is a different truth and every silence a new beginning. In Arusha, mornings bloom with mist and possibility. The town lies beneath the gaze of Mount Meru, where clouds cling like wool to its shoulders. Streets stir with the scent of fresh mandatsi and strong kahawa. Children laugh their way to school, and safari trucks gather like ships before an expedition. The journey winds east of Zanzibar, where the air becomes salt and clove. Here, the sea is a poet, riding waves in turquoise and foam. Narrow alleys cradle history. Omani doors carved with patience. Spice markets breathing heat. Voices rising in prayer and barter alike. In Dar es Salaam, life moves to a faster drum. Buses pulse down roads like veins, carrying music and sweat and dreams. Fishermen return with the tide, nets heavy with silver. And in the haze of dusk, the city exhales, chaotic, human, alive. Northward, the land rises. Mount Kilimanjaro stands alone, like a question no one dares answer. Its snow cap gleams like memory. To climb it is to walk through worlds, rainforest humming, moorland stretching, glacier weeping under sky. And still the land unfolds. The Ngorongoro Crater cradles a lost Eden. Wildebeest and warthog share the floor with elephants and flamingos, their steps writing old stories in the dust. You watch in reverence, knowing you're a guest in their cathedral of silence and wind. Nungwi Beach sparkles at the edge of the island, like a secret never quite hidden. Wooden boats rest belly up on the sand. Fishermen mend nets, and the sun turns skin golden with its kiss. In Serengeti, the horizon breaks open. Herds move like breath across the earth. Lions yawn in tall grass. Gazelles leap like whispers. Here, time forgets itself. Here, life unfolds unedited, raw and grand. If you come here, come slow. Let the land set your pace. Dress with modesty in mind. Long fabrics flow better in the heat and speak softly of respect. In mosques and villages, a shawl around your shoulders says, I see you. Swahili is more than language. It is music. A greeting goes far. Jambo, Asani, Popo, slow down. Try the ugali with stew. Taste the grilled mishkaki in open-air stalls. But skip the water from the tap. It holds stories your stomach's not ready for. Tanzanian shillings go far, but your smile travels farther. Tips are welcomed. Generosity here is a circle, not a transaction. Use dollars if you're brave, taxis if you're tired, and your feet when you want to remember where you are. Rainy seasons come like whispered promises. In March to May, and again in November, the earth changes then. Greener, wiser. Watch for scams dressed as guides. Trust your instincts, not just a badge. And always ask before the photo, eyes here tell long tales. This land doesn't rush. It doesn't shout. It invites. And as the light fades behind acacia silhouettes, something lingers, not just memory, but a kind of recognition. You came for landscapes, but you carry something deeper now, a feeling, a warmth, a truth. You leave, but the wind remembers. At the foot of Mount Meru, Arusha breathes like a town between two worlds. One foot in the wild, the other in the slow rhythm of Tanzanian life. Mornings arrive softly here, with fog curling over rooftops and the quiet chatter of birds testing the day. The streets stir gently at dawn. Smoke rises from charcoal stoves, mingling with the scent of frying dough and ripe mangoes. Vendors arrange avocados like jewels, and school children shuffle past in pressed uniforms, their laughter small but radiant. Safari jeeps rumble through intersections, their canvas roofs rolled open like promises of adventure. This is the edge of the unknown, the gateway to the Serengeti, to Kilimanjaro, to myth. But don't be fooled. Arusha is more than a starting point. It's a living place, full of its own rhythm and hum. Churches ring with song, mosques echo with prayer, and in between, the heartbeat of daily life pulses, woven baskets, bright fabrics, and the soft thud of footsteps on dusty paths. The mountain watches it all. Mount Meru stands in the background, calm and immense, its peak often veiled in clouds, as if holding secrets it has no need to tell. On clear days, the summit appears briefly, and the town seems to pause, as if reminded of something sacred. If you come here, come with openness and with time. Take a walk through the central market. It's loud, yes, entangled, but rich with color and human texture. Smells of cinnamon, cassava, drying fish. Sellers beckon, not to push, but to share. Eye contact is currency. A smile and nod, they go far. Dress conservatively, especially away from tourist routes. In neighborhoods and sacred spaces, cover shoulders and knees. It's not a rule, it's a kindness. For food, try Nyama Choma, grilled meat shared in smoky gatherings. Eaten slowly with your fingers and laughter. Don't rush. Let the meal fill you in more ways than one. Swahili will serve you well here. Even a simple shikamu, a respectful greeting for elders, can open doors. People appreciate the effort, even if your accent stumbles. Transportation is a world of its own. Dalas are cheap and crowded and full of character. But if you prefer calm, hire a trusted taxi or walk, especially in the coolness of morning. The currency is Tanzanian shillings. Cash is king. ATMs are available, but don't always sing when you need them most. Carry small notes. Tip drivers, porters, anyone who helps you along the way. Generosity here is shared and remembered. Be cautious with your valuables. Petty theft is rare, but not unheard of. Keep your curiosity bright and your awareness gentle. And above all, don't rush Arusha. This is a town that rewards those who linger, who sit on a stoop and watch the clouds shift, who listen to stories told slowly over hot tea, who realize that waiting is not wasted time, but an invitation to presence. Because here, beneath the shadow of a mountain that guards and guides, you begin to understand what it means to truly arrive. And when you leave, something in you stays. A slower breath, a quieter step, a soft thread tying you back to this place where the world feels both big and close. Zanzibar arrives not as a place, but as a scent, clove and cardamom thick in the air, curling around your thoughts before your feet even touch the shore. The island doesn't greet you, it envelopes you, like a story whispered in a language you almost remember. The sea here is every shade of impossible. Turquoise, jade, sapphire, shimmering like it's in on a secret. Dhow boats drift past like paper dreams, their sails bowed gently by wind that smells of salt and history. The horizon blurs between ocean and sky, and for a moment, you forget what you came looking for. Stone Town sits like a puzzle of time, its narrow lanes coiling like smoke. Doors carved with ancient symbols creak under the hands of children chasing kites. Call to prayer rises above rusted tin and limestone, as robed elders sip black coffee under bougainvillea vines. The past is not buried here. It walks beside you, soft-footed and alive. Walls hold the echo of merchants and sultans, of voices that bartered in 10 tongues. You turn a corner and find a man selling spiced tea, so strong it hums in your blood. You pass a woman arranging fish on banana leaves, her gaze steady, her presence regal. There is no performance here, only rhythm. If you come here, come with respect for what lingers. This island is layered. Persian, Omani, Swahili, colonial, independent, proud. Dress humbly, especially in town. Long skirts, loose sleeves, a scarf over your shoulders. They aren't requirements, they're quiet forms of gratitude. English will get you far, but Swahili opens doors. Asani Sana, Karibu, Samahani, these are more than words. They're ways of entering gently. Try the street food at Foradani Gardens when evening falls. Octopus skewers, sugarcane juice, Zanzibar pizza. Flavors bold enough to startle, then soften. But drink only sealed water. The island welcomes, but your stomach must still earn its sea legs. Cash is a tide here. It flows better than cards. Shillings go further than dollars. Tipping is appreciated, especially for guides, drivers, and hotel staff. And always agree on a price before you step into a taxi or onto a boat. Move slowly. Don't plan too much. Let yourself get lost in alleys where laundry flutters like flags of surrender. Wander until the sound of waves returns you to the edge. The beaches, too, are beyond belief. Powdery white, the kind that squeaks beneath your soles. Fishermen mend nets in the shade. Children leap into waves, and time folds on itself like a tide coming home. But remember, this is not just paradise. It is also people's homes, histories, hearts. Don't point your camera where your eyes wouldn't linger in kindness. And when you find a quiet spot, maybe on a rooftop cafe or within a rickety pier, pause. Listen. The island speaks in wind and wood, in barefoot steps and distant drums. Zanzibar doesn't dazzle. It seduces. And as you leave, a part of you stays, suspended in sun and spice, adrift in the rhythm of a place that teaches you how to slow, how to see, how to remember. Dar es Salaam does not wait for you. It moves. It surges like surf against a stone jetty, rhythm pulsing in its traffic, its laughter, its layered heat. The name means haven of peace, but peace here is not stillness. It is something you find in motion, in the dance between order and chaos, in the swell of life that never quite rests. From above, the city stretches like spilled paint. Blue ocean giving way to concrete palms, iron roofs, and markets like beating hearts. Streets hum with tuk-tuks and buses, with footsteps and horns, with Swahili drifting through the air like music without a score. Ferries come and go from the harbor, gulls circling, men shouting prices over engines. Behind them, modern towers rise beside crumbling colonial facades, layers of time pressed close together, like pages in a well-read book. But Dar is not made to be admired from afar. You must step into it, breathe it in. If you come here, come with energy and leave your need for symmetry behind. The city will not match your expectations. It will upend them. But in doing so, it might show you something more alive. Begin in Kariakou. It's not tourist pretty. It's real. Crowded aisles, endless goods, smells of roasted maize and motor oil. Watch how quickly strangers become friends when prices are debated with a grin. Visit the fish market early, where the sun is barely up, but the bargaining is already loud. Eyes glisten from freshly caught snapper, and the ocean speaks through the voices of its harvesters. When the heat thickens, escape to the cool breeze of the peninsula. Cocoa Beach rolls out beside the Indian Ocean, waves warm and relentless. Young couples hold hands under palms. Vendors sell roasted cassava, and the world slows just a little. Dress light but modest. Dar is coastal, casual, but proud. Shoulders and knees covered in city spaces earn quiet respect. Swahili is spoken everywhere, though English can carry you in most hotels and cafes. Still, a few words, po, slowly, Rafiki, friend, Asubuhi Njema, good morning, can open smiles like sunrise. Transport is abundant, bajaji for short hops, buses for the patient, taxis for ease. Confirm your fare first, and always carry cash, small notes neatly folded. Tipping is not expected, but always appreciated. Dar es Salaam is not a museum. It's a living, breathing, sweating canvas. It may exhaust you. It may challenge your rhythms. But it will also teach you how to move with grace in the midst of motion. And as night falls, with golden light clinging to high-rise glass and the last ferry fading toward the horizon, you might just find it. That strange kind of peace that only comes when you stop trying to keep up and simply let the city carry you. It begins with shape in the sky, silent, colossal, unreal. Kilimanjaro, the mountain that rises like a question above the clouds, above the land, above even belief. You don't see it at first. Days can pass in fog and haze, the peak hidden like a secret not ready to be told. But then the mist parts, and there it is, white crowned and impossibly still, as if time itself has paused to listen. It is not just a mountain. It is memory, myth, and mirror. To look at Kilimanjaro is to feel something ancient stir inside you. The land below pulses with quiet preparation. Porters wrap gear with practiced hands. Guides check boots and maps and eyes. There is a stillness before ascent, something ceremonial in the way the climb begins. You do not conquer Kilimanjaro. You walk with it, slowly. The lower slopes are a dream of green, moss like velvet, trees that drip with life, birds that flash and vanish. The air is thick, damp, alive. Step by step, the world changes. Forest gives way to heather, then to stone, then to silence. Each day strips something away, noise, speed, certainty. Altitude hums in your blood. Breathing becomes a prayer. You learn the sacred rhythm of po-po, slowly, slowly. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. It's the way people and mountains speak without words. Nights are cold. Stars blaze overhead with a sharpness that feels holy. In the hush of the tent, your thoughts echo back to you in new shapes. You begin to remember who you are without signal, without mirrors, without roles. Just breath, just sky, just step, and then, summit night, you wake in darkness. Everything is quiet, save for the crunch of boots and the wind's low song. The trail is steep, the cold sharp, the air thin. But you keep going, because something in you has decided that the top is not just a place, but a promise. And when the sun breaks, it breaks everything. Light spills over the crater rim. The glacier catches fire in gold. And in that moment, standing at Uhuru Peak, you understand the meaning of the word freedom, not as escape, but as arrival. If you come here, come prepared. This is no casual hike. Bring layers. Cold is not a metaphor here. Good boots, worn in. Gloves, a headlamp where you can lean on. Acclimatization is essential. Respect the altitude. Drink water even when you're not thirsty. Listen to your body and your guide. They're your lifeline and your compass. Most climbers begin from Moshi, a town that hums with anticipation. Guides are often locals who know not just a trail, but the mountain's moods. Tip them well. They carry more than your pack. Choose your route wisely. Marangu is gentler, with huts. Makame is steeper, but scenic. Lemisho is quiet and long. All end in the same place, where breath and sky meet. You don't need technical climbing skills, but you do need grit and humility. This mountain will teach you both. Above all, honor the space. Don't leave trash or ego or noise. This is sacred ground. The Chaga people have told stories about Kilimanjaro for generations. Not of conquest, but of respect. Learn from that. And when you descend, when the air thickens and the trees return, don't rush. Let the mountain fade slowly behind you. Because some part of you will remain up there. Not your footsteps, not your voice, but the version of you that stood in wind and wonder and said, I am small, and that is beautiful. And long after you've left, when your boots are clean and your lungs forget the thinness of the air, something in you will still rise, quietly, surely, like the mountain that first taught you how. Ngorongoro is not a place. It is a silence that surrounds you before the view does. You arrive before dawn, the air crisp with altitude, breath rising like smoke, and then there it is, a vast bowl of green and gold, held gently in the arms of ancient stone. The crater doesn't shout. It whispers. It pulls you inward, down into its stillness, where time folds like mist and the world is reduced to a single perfect breath. Formed from the bones of a fallen volcano, Ngorongoro is not only geology, it is sanctuary. Over 25,000 animals live within its walls, not penned, but protected by the caldera's gentle embrace. Zebra move in slow ripples across the grass. Wildebeest graze like scattered thoughts. Lions rest in the open, indifferent to the hum of safari engines. There is no need to hide here. This is nature without fear. Flamingos scatter like petals over shallow lakes, painting the water in soft pinks and whites. A lone rhino grazes near the shadows of the Larai forest, horn catching light like polished stone. Elephants meander past fig trees, their skin dusted in red earth, their pace ancient, deliberate. The sky here feels closer. The clouds hang low, caught in the crater's lip, trailing secrets. And the wind carries stories of migrations, of survival, of birth and slow death. This is not a zoo. It is the world before walls. If you come here, come early. The gates open with the morning light, and the crater glows in ways no afternoon can replicate. The roads wind steeply down. Switch back to silence until you're on the crater floor, where even your thoughts seem to tread more softly. You'll need a guide, a vehicle, and a permit. But more than that, you'll need patience. The animals do not perform. Sometimes the magic arrives in seconds. Sometimes it waits behind the trees, dressed in layers. The rim is cool, the crater warm by midday. Bring water, snacks, and binoculars, not to dominate the view, but to honor it. And please, do not feed, do not shout, do not leave behind anything more than your quiet wonder. This land is shared with the Maasai, who graze cattle near the rim and live in small bomas beyond the crater's reach. Their presence is not decoration. It is history, lived and walking beside you. Greet them with respect. Accept that you are a guest here, not just in the land, but in its memory. The animals here are not tame, nor are they wild in the way danger is. They simply are whole, free, and undisturbed. And that, more than any sighting, is the real miracle. And when it's time to leave, as your jeep climbs back toward the rim and the view slowly retreats behind you, you'll feel something unexpected, a kind of ache, as if you are leaving behind not just a place, but a version of the world too pure to last. Ngorongoro stays with you, in the hush between conversations, in the way your heart quiets when you think of wide grasslands and golden light, in the memory of a crater that once exploded with fire and now holds gently the stillness of life untouched. And you will know, without doubt, that beauty does not need to be loud. It only needs to be true. The first thing you notice in Nungwi is the water, impossibly blue, as if the sky had melted downward and stilled. It shimmers in layers, turquoise, jade, sapphire. Each wave folds onto the shore with the softness of silk, retreating without hurry, as if time here has loosened its grip. Nungwi is a village at the northern tip of Zanzibar, but it feels like an edge of the world. where land forgets itself and becomes something quieter, more fluid. Dhow boats rest on the sand like sleeping birds, their sails curled in during low tide. The reef stretches far into the horizon, and you can walk among coral fragments and small sea creatures. The ocean pulled back like a curtain revealing its secrets. Sunlight pours like honey over white sand, and shadows from leaning palms stretch thin and long. Fishermen mend nets under the trees. Children race barefoot along the waterline, laughter tumbling behind them like seashells. And in the distance, the sound of the sea is joined by the slow rhythm of drums, the echo of Zanzibari terror music carried faintly on the wind. If you come here, come with your shoes off and your senses open. There are resorts and restaurants, yes, but wander beyond. Visit the boatyards where artisans still carve dhows by hand, blades moving with the knowledge of generations. Speak to those who live by the tides. They will tell you stories, not in brochures, but in weathered Swahili and quiet gestures. Modesty is appreciated. Swimwear is for the beach, not the village. A light shawl or cover-up speaks volumes of respect in a place where tradition still shapes the way people see the world. Try the seafood, the octopus grill with lime, the coconut curries, the fresh mango that drips down your wrist. But also try stillness. Let the day stretch without plan. Let the salt air undo the knots in your thoughts. You won't need much here. Some Tanzanian shillings, a phrase or two in Swahili, a sani caribou, and a willingness to watch the sun go down without needing to photograph it. Nungwi slows you not by force, but by seduction. The sea pulls the urgency out of your bones. You begin to move like the tides, drifting, returning, staying a little longer than you meant to. And when night comes, it brings stars so sharp they feel near enough to touch, and waves that whisper like lullabies only the moon understands. You leave Nungwi with sand still clinging to your feet and a silence in your heart. Not empty, but full. The kind of silence that says, I was here and the world was gentle. The Serengeti begins with a breath, wide, empty, infinite. It is not a place you arrive at. It is a vastness you enter, a sea of golden grass stretched under an endless sky, where the wind moves like a memory and the earth hums with ancient rhythm. There is something primeval here, something unchanged. The land does not hurry, nor do the creatures that roam it. Time walks slowly across the savannah, barefoot and eternal. You wake to a hush before sunrise. The air is cool, tinged with dust and dew. In the dimness, silhouettes stir, giraffes stretching against the fading stars, wildebeests shifting in herds like murmurations on the ground. A lion's call rolls low across the plains, not loud, but deep enough to move your ribs. Then the light comes. Not suddenly, but in a slow unveiling, as if the sun itself is reluctant to break the spell of night. And when it does, when the gold touches the grass and the shadows shrink back into the earth, the Serengeti reveals itself. Zebra in their stripes of paradox, elephants moving like thoughts, slow and unshakable. Cheetahs, lean as wind, watching from termite mounds. Vultures circling a kill, the unspoken truth of this place where life and death sit beside each other without apology. This is not a safari. It is a pilgrimage. You are not here to witness drama, but to feel what it means to be part of something vast and sacred and uncontainable. In the dry season, the Great Migration stirs the horizon. Wildebeest by the thousands, by the millions, hooves pounding, dust rising, a river of instinct that stretches beyond the eye. It is not just movement, it is survival set in motion. If you come here, come with reverence, not just curiosity. The Serengeti is not a backdrop. It is a living, breathing intelligence. Keep quiet. Let your breath match the rhythm of the land. Book a guide who sees more than animals. Someone who understands the moods of the sky, the silent tracks, the bird calls that shift with every hour. Let them show you how to listen. Dress for dust and sun. Layers of the early chill. Wide hats for the midday glare. Sunscreen, water, and a notebook, because the camera won't catch the way this place makes you feel. Park fees sustain the preservation here. Pay them gladly. And tip your guide. This isn't just their job, it's their legacy. Be mindful of your distance. Do not crowd a lion. Do not chase an elephant. This is their home, and you are only passing through. There are no fences here, only boundaries of respect. At night, intended camps scatter like whispers across the plains. The world quiets. You lie in your cot and listen to the distant rhythm of hooves, the yawn of a hyena, the breath of the earth cooling under stars. There is no silence like Serengeti silence. It doesn't empty you. It fills you with something you didn't know you were missing. You will try to explain this later. You will say, I saw a lion, or we followed the migration. But the truth is you were seen. You were followed. You were made small in the best possible way. Because here, in this cathedral of grass and sky, you are not the center of the story. You are a page in the wind, a watcher at the edge of a masterpiece. And when you leave, you carry with you the sound of the wind through acacia trees, the smell of sun-warmed earth, and the haunting awareness that the wildness of this place has stirred the wildness in you. The Serengeti does not ask to be remembered. It simply waits, knowing you will never forget. They appear on the horizon like brushstrokes against the land, figures draped in crimson and cobalt, moving with the poise of wind-carved stone. The Maasai do not blend into the savanna. They stand apart, bold, upright, elemental. This is a people shaped by rhythm and ritual, by the open sky and the hush between hoofbeats, by cattle, not just as livelihood, but as language, a thread woven through song, ceremony, and survival. You meet them on the edge of the Serengeti, where the earth reddens and the sun casts long shadows. Their homes in Kong are low, rounded huts made of earth and dung, encircling a life lived communally, with fire at the center. There is dignity here, in the way they speak, in the way they stand, in the quiet pride of centuries lived close to the land. Their jumping dance, a dumu, is not for show, though you may be invited to witness it. Warriors rising and falling like notes in a chant, their feet barely touching the ground, their faces calm as flame. It is strength without aggression, grace without performance. If you come here, come humbly. Tourism reaches even these sacred edges, and not all experiences are equal. Seek out visits that are ethical, where your presence is invited, not extracted, where what you pay supports education, access to clean water, and the rhythms of real life, not only stage encounters. Ask before taking photos. Learn their names. Listen when they speak of cattle, of rites of passage, of weather and drought. This is not just anthropology. It is survival, evolving with care and resistance. Dress modestly. Bring a heart ready to learn, not judge. And remember, your story is not the center here. The Maasai walk with centuries in their stride. And though the modern world encroaches, through roads, through politics, through change, they remain unmistakably themselves. You leave not with souvenirs, but with questions about strength, about what it means to belong wholly to a land, about what is gained and lost when tradition stands at the edge of time. And as you watch them disappear back into the heat-haze horizon, their forms flickering like memory, one truth settles in. The Maasai are not just part of Tanzania's story. They are the thread that binds sky to earth, past to present, stillness to song. Lake Manyara unfolds like a hidden jewel, cradled between escarpments and forests, a quiet world painted in greens and blues that soothe the soul. The air here tastes of earth and water, a delicate balance of moistness and sun-warm breeze. Birds wheel overhead in shimmering flocks. Pink flamingos, pelicans, and fish eagles, their calls echoing across the lake's glassy surface. The forest edges hum with life. Baboons chatter in the trees, their movement a lively rhythm in contrast to the lake's stillness. Elephants wander slowly beneath the canopy, their presence ancient and unhurried. This is a place where water and land kiss, a liminal world full of surprises. If you come here, come early, when the lake reflects the dawn like a mirror. Bring sturdy shoes for walking the forest trails, where leopards and colobus monkeys hide among the branches. Respect the quiet. Stay on paths. The ecosystem here is fragile, a delicate thread holding together species and stories. Try the local fruit sold by vendors near the park gates. Mangoes, guavas, and tamarind taste as fresh as the air. Dress lightly, but cover arms and legs to guard against mosquitoes, and carry water to stay refreshed. Lake Manyara is not just about sightings. It's about the feeling of immersion, the whisper of leaves, the shimmer of wings, the slow approach of a giant elephant through the undergrowth. all invite you to slow down, to breathe deeply and to listen. And when you leave, the gentle hum of this watery sanctuary stays with you, a quiet pulse beneath the noise of the world. Here, life moves with calm purpose, and you learn that sometimes the most profound journeys are the ones that take you softly into stillness. Lake Natron is a world apart, a place where the earth burns bright and strange, and the sky stretches wide and fierce. The lake's waters are an otherworldly shade of rust and rose, painted by minerals and algae that transform into a mirror of fire. Its surface sometimes shimmers like liquid glass, at other times churns with unseen life beneath the salty crust. Surrounding the lake, the air carries a dry heat, tinged with a faint scent of soda and mineral, sharp and raw. Flamingos come here in thousands, their pink feathers vivid against the stark landscape, nesting on islands formed from the lake's alkaline shores, a surreal ballet of color and movement amid the harshness. Volcanoes rise around the lake, their slopes etched with shadows, silent witnesses to this dramatic land. If you come here, come prepared for extremes. The sun is fierce. Bring wide hats, sunscreen, and plenty of water. Respect the delicate balance of this ecosystem. Stay on designated paths and avoid disturbing the flamingos, whose survival here is both miraculous and fragile. Local Maasai communities live nearby, their lives entwined with this wild place. Approach with respect and openness. Listen to their stories, but remember to honor their privacy. The journey to Lake Natron is as much about solitude as spectacle. Here, the silence is vast, punctuated only by the call of birds or the whisper of the wind across salt flats. It teaches you about resilience, how life can bloom in places that seem inhospitable, how beauty can arise from the most unexpected elements. And when you leave, the image of that fiery lake lingers in your mind, a reminder that the earth holds mysteries that defy easy understanding, and that sometimes the most profound truths are found where the world feels most wild and raw. Tarangire stretches like a quiet heartbeat in the Tanzanian landscape, a place where ancient baobabs stand like sentinels against the sky, and the earth breathes slow and steady beneath a vast expanse of acacia-studded plains. The light here is golden and soft, filtering through leaves that shimmer with a touch of breeze. Elephants roam in family groups, their massive forms moving with a grace that belies their size, trunks curling gently toward the ground as they forage among the grass. Birdsong weaves through the branches, a chorus of weavers, hornbills, and kingfishers that colors the air with rhythm and life. Tarangire is a sanctuary shaped by water. The seasonal river pulses through park, drawing animals from far and wide during the dry months. It is a magnet for life, a place where survival and serenity meet in delicate balance. If you come here, come with patience. The park is vast, and the animals move at their own pace. Bring binoculars and a sense of quiet wonder. Dress in earthy tones to blend gently with the environment. Early mornings can be cool, so layers are wise, but the midday sun will demand hats and sun protection. Respect the animal space. Observe from a distance, allowing them their moments of peace and play. Local guides are storytellers, holding knowledge not just of the wildlife, but of the shifting seasons and the land's secrets. Trust their wisdom. It will deepen your experience. Tarangire's beauty is subtle, found in the slow sway of grasses, the delicate curve of a giraffe's neck, the shadow play of clouds crossing the plain. As evening falls, the sky deepens into indigo, stars bursting forth with an intensity that feels almost too vast to hold. The night brings a chorus of sounds, distant roars, the rustle of leaves, the call of nocturnal birds, reminders that the wilderness never truly sleeps. And when you leave, you carry with you the gentle pulse of this wild heartland. Tarangire teaches you to move with grace and stillness, to listen to the earth's quiet stories, and find peace in the endless dance of life unfolding beneath an African sky. Kendwa Beach unfolds like a secret whisper between ocean and sky, a stretch of soft, white sand kissed by turquoise waves that shimmer under the generous equatorial sun. The air is sweet with salt and jasmine, alive with the gentle murmur of the sea and the laughter of fishermen pulling nets from the water. Palm trees sway in slow rhythm, casting patchwork shadows that dance across the sand, while the horizon melts into endless blue. Here, time moves with the tide, unhurried, serene. If you come here, come ready to surrender to the calm. Swim in the warm, clear waters where the coral gardens lie just beneath the surface, home to a kaleidoscope of fish and quiet marvels. Respect the local rhythm. Fishing boats return at dawn, their bright sails a splash of color against the morning light. Wear light, breathable clothing, and remember modesty when walking through nearby villages. Cover shoulders and knees to honor local customs. Try freshly grilled seafood, octopus and fish, seasoned simply with lemon and spice, a taste of the ocean itself. The night here is a different world, with soft music drifting from beach bars and stars so bright they feel close enough to touch. You might find yourself walking barefoot on the sand, the oceans whisper in your ears, feeling the quiet joy of being exactly where you are. And when you leave, the taste of salt lingers on your lips, the memory of endless blue beneath your skin. Kendwa is a place to remember that peace often arrives on gentle waves, and beauty is found in the quiet moments between breath and tide. Morogoro unfolds like a hidden gem nestled at the foot of the Uluguru Mountains, a town with a pulse of daily life beats gently beneath a canopy of towering jacaranda trees, their blossoms painting the streets in shades of violet and blue. The air here carries a fresh mountain crispness, mingled with the earthy scent of fertile soil and vibrant market spices. The rhythm of Morogoro is unhurried, a blend of tradition and quiet modernity that invites you to slow down and listen. In the early morning, the streets come alive with vendors selling fresh fruits, vegetables, and handmade crafts. The colors are vivid: bright red tomatoes, glossy green bananas, and baskets woven with skill and care. The town's charm lies not only in its bustling markets, but also in its proximity to nature. Lush coffee plantations spread like emerald waves on the hillsides, while the nearby Uluguru Mountains beckon with trails winding through misty forests. If you come here, come with open eyes and a willing heart. Wear comfortable shoes for exploring both town and trail, and dress modestly to respect local customs. Light fabrics and soft earth tones work well. Learn a few words of Swahili. Greetings like Jambo and Asani open doors and smiles. Try the local dishes, usually served with mchicha, spinach, or freshly caught tilapia grilled to perfection. Simple flavors that speak of home and hearth. Markets are best visited early to avoid the midday heat and to savor the lively bartering and chatter. Safety here is calm, but stay mindful of your belongings in crowded places. Morogoro is also a place of stories, of farmers tending the rich land, of artisans crafting beauty from nature, of families weaving traditions into daily life. In the evening, as the sun dips behind the mountains, the sky ignites in hues of orange and pink, and the town quiets into a gentle lull. You might find yourself sitting beneath a jacaranda tree, the scent of blossoms thick in the air, feeling the steady heartbeat of this place settle into your own. And when you leave, Morogoro leaves a soft impression of earth and sky intertwined, of simple joys lived deeply, of a world that invites you to belong, even if just for a moment. Here, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and every step taken feels like a conversation between traveler and home. Mnemba Island rises from the Indian Ocean like a solitary emerald, its shores fringed by coral reefs that pulse with the quiet life of the sea. Here, water is a prism, shifting from turquoise to deep sapphire, carrying the soft murmur waves that lap gently against powdery white sand. The island is small, private, and untouched, a sanctuary where time seems to slow, allowing the mind to breathe and the heart to open. Palm fronds sway in a steady rhythm, casting delicate shadows that dance across the sands, while beneath the surface, a vibrant coral kingdom thrives. Turtles glide with ancient grace, schools of fish flash like jewels, and the occasional dolphin arcs in playful leaps. If you come here, come with reverence for the sea and all it holds. Snorkeling is a gateway to a hidden world. Move slowly, respect the coral, and observe without disturbing. The island is a refuge not only for visitors but for endangered species. So take care to leave no trace of your presence. Wear light clothing that dries quickly and a wide-brimmed hat for sun protection. Fresh seafood is a delight here, caught sustainably and served simply to celebrate the ocean's bounty. Though the island feels isolated, local guides share stories of the Swahili coast, tales of ancient trade, seafaring, and the blending of cultures that shape this part of the world. Evenings here are marked by the soft glow of lanterns and the quiet chorus of waves. You might find yourself lying beneath a canopy of stars, the vast sky mirroring the calm sea, feeling the gentle pulse of nature's rhythm seep into your bones. And when you leave, Mnemba stays with you, not just as a place, but as a memory of peace, purity, and the delicate balance between earth and ocean, reminding you that sometimes the most profound journeys are those that bring us quietly home to ourselves. Stone Town rises from the shores of Zanzibar like a story etched in stone and salt, a labyrinth of narrow alleys, ancient doors carved with whispers of centuries past, and the mingling scent of spices carried on the ocean breeze. The air here hums with life, a rich tapestry of sounds. The call to prayer weaving through market chatter, the clatter of footsteps on cobblestones, and the gentle creak of dhows moored along the waterfront. Sunlight filters through hanging laundry and jasmine vines, casting dappled patterns that dance with the pulse of the city's heartbeat. If you come here, come with curiosity and an open heart. Walk slowly. Allow yourself to be lost among the winding streets, where every corner holds a secret. A spice market, a tiny cafe, a faded mural telling tales of Omani sultans and Swahili traders. Respect the rhythms of daily life. Dress modestly to honor local customs, and keep your belongings close in the bustling souks. Taste the flavors that define Stone Town: rich polo rice, fragrant seafood curries, and the sharp sweetness of freshly brewed chai. Listen for stories shared by locals, of resilience, trade, and the blending of cultures that make this place uniquely alive. As the sun sets, the sky blushes with hues of pink and orange, and lanterns flicker to life, casting a warm glow over carved wooden balconies and bustling waterfront cafes. You might find yourself sitting quietly by the sea, the salty breeze carrying the echoes of history, feeling the city's pulse settle into a steady, comforting rhythm. And when you leave, Stone Town lingers, not just as a place, but as a mosaic of memory and spirit, a reminder that some cities live not only in maps, but in the stories we carry with us long after we've gone. Lake Victoria stretches wide and timeless, a vast mirror where sky and water meet in endless embrace. Its shores are fringed with villages woven into the landscape, where fishermen launch their wooden boats into calm waters that ripple softly under a generous sun. The air hums with life, the laughter of children playing on sandy banks, the cry of birds wheeling overhead, and the gentle slap of oars cutting through the lake's surface. Here, the scent of fresh fish mingles with earth and rain, grounding you in a rhythm as old as the water itself. If you come here, come with patience and reverence. Observe the fishermen casting their nets with practiced grace, a dance repeated for generations, sustaining communities who live in harmony with the lake's gifts. Dress simply and comfortably. Lightweight clothes shield you from the equatorial sun, while a wide-brimmed hat and sunblock are kind companions. Learn a few words of the local languages, Luo, Swahili, or others, and you'll find smiles blooming more easily. Taste the flavors of the region. Freshly caught tilapia, grilled and seasoned simply, a direct connection to the lake's bounty. Respect the delicate balance here. Avoid disturbing nests or wildlife, and support local efforts to preserve the lake's fragile ecosystem. As evening falls, the sky blazes with fiery hues, the sun sinking slowly beneath the horizon's edge. You might find yourself seated by the water's edge, the lake's vastness reflecting the turning sky, and in that moment, feeling both humbled and connected. And when you leave, Lake Victoria stays with you, not just a memory, but in the quiet knowing that some places hold the pulse of life itself, steady and enduring, a reminder of the deep and beautiful ties between people, water, and earth. Paje is a gentle melody sung by the sea, a quiet village where white sands stretch wide beneath endless skies, and the ocean's breath whispers soft secrets along the shore. The water here is a luminous blue, shallow and warm, inviting the curious to wade in. Kites surface to dance with the wind, and the sun to drape its golden light over all. Palm trees lean toward the sea as if longing to touch the horizon, their shadows tracing delicate patterns on the sand. If you come here, come ready to slow down and listen. Wear light, breathable clothes and honor local customs by dressing modestly away from the beach. Taste the sweetness of freshly caught seafood, grilled simply and shared with smiles. Feel the community's rhythm, locals welcoming visitors with quiet warmth, fishermen mending nets, children chasing waves. Respect the delicate balance of this place. Avoid disturbing nesting turtles, and leave only footprints in the sand. As evening falls, the sky blushes soft pink and lavender, and the gentle roar of the ocean becomes a lullaby. You might find yourself walking barefoot beneath the stars, the sea's pulse steady beneath your feet. And when you leave, Paje carries you gently, a reminder that beauty often lives in calm moments, in the tender embrace of land and sea, and in the quiet spaces between breath and wave. Kusini Beach stretches quietly beneath an endless sky, where soft sands meet the gentle caress of the Indian Ocean's waves. The air carries a delicate saltiness, mingled with the scent of tropical blooms and distant wood fires. Here, the rhythm slows to the heartbeat of the sea, and the sun paints the world in warm golds and soft shadows. If you come here, come with a spirit open to calm and reflection. Wear modest, lightweight clothing to respect local customs when venturing beyond the shore. Savor the simple pleasures, fresh coconut water, the subtle sweetness of grilled fish, the sound of laughter carried on a breeze. Notice the delicate balance between village life and nature, where fishermen's boats rest side by side with drifting clouds and palm trees. Be mindful of the environment. Avoid leaving traces and respect nesting sea turtles that come ashore quietly at night. As dusk falls, the sky melts into hues of coral and lavender, and the ocean's whisper becomes a gentle song. You might find yourself sitting on the sand, feeling the soft breeze against your skin, the quiet peace settling deep within. And when you leave, Kusini lingers, a gentle reminder that sometimes the most profound journeys happen in stillness, where the soul can breathe and the world feels wide and kind. And so, the journey through Tanzania comes to a close, but spirit lingers, woven into the warm earth, the shimmering waters, and the endless skies. Each place, a story. Each moment, a breath held between wonder and quiet reflection. You wander through mountains and beaches, through markets alive with color and calm villages resting beneath ancient trees. And though the journey ends here, the echoes remain, the laughter, the songs, the whispers of the wind. Carry them with you as gentle companions, reminders that travel is not just about places seen, but about the heart opened. And as the sun sets on this chapter, know that the soul of Tanzania stays with you, an enduring light that calls you back again and again.